Today we're going to give you a noob guide to choosing the right RV type for you. Welcome to Two Camping Gurus. If you like camping in the great outdoors, you are in the right place. Alright, so you're thinking about buying a camper. The question is, which one is right for you? So let's start with the basics. Just prior to a camper, you have a tent. So everybody knows what a tent is. You can choose that route if you want. But if you want to step up your game, maybe you've been doing tent camping and you want to get into camper camping, like an RV and that type of stuff. There are multiple different options to choose from, and we're going to cover some of those today. We're going to at least hit the basics of all the types that you could possibly choose from. And the first one is a pop-up. This is typically a very small unit, and it has a hard base with a hard top, and when that extends, it then has a tent type material that would fill that middle area. So you'd have pop-out beds, and the middle section of the unit would be tent style. So you still end up with a hard top on it, and you have something with wheels, and you have typically a small refrigerator, a very small bathroom area, and you can go online and look at layouts of these different ones too. We're not going to get into that too much, but we're just going to talk about the different types. So this is probably like the starter or the base one you can get. It's just one step up from a tent. So that might be work for you if you're looking for a very lightweight unit so you can pull with a very small car. This would be the way to go. They do have other ones that are not tent types that might be a step up from this as far as camper wise, but they're still extremely tiny, and that is a teardrop style. And those have evolved into much larger units that they still kind of call teardrops. But those original tiny teardrops that were shaped like a teardrop, those are very, very small with almost no facilities inside. So the pop-up would be a step up from those, but still keeping it extremely small, very compact, easy to tow with most any vehicle. The next one you could choose, a step up from the pop-up, would be kind of a hybrid. So this one would be a solid camper, solid sides. You don't have to crank the roof up or anything like that. However, typically they will have pop-outs on the ends or on one side or the other that would be a bedroom. And the sides of that would be tent type material, canvas or that type of stuff. So it's kind of a hybrid. These typically have much better interior as far as spacing and bathroom and things like that, kitchen area, but they're not wasting that living space for a bedroom, because the bedroom would pop out once you reached your destination. You would set that up. So the cons to these two type are, one, they're not good for hot climates or cold, because the tent stuff is not great insulation. So you have an issue with that. They don't heat well and they don't cool well. They don't maintain it. So that's something to take into consideration. Now, when we were out looking for what we were going to buy, I never even gave this any thought, but when you go into a bunch of these at a time, that's when we realized we got into one. It's like, why is it so hot in this one but not in that one? It's because it had that one pop-out tent area for a bed. So you had excellent space inside the unit. You'd pop this tent out for sleeping, but because it was a tent material, the hot sun baking with no insulation, it was extremely hot in there. And that's when I realized that these units, obviously, and I'm sure other people have already realized this way before me, are not good for, extreme climates. So that's a downfall. A benefit to them is they're still very lightweight, they're still compact, and you get yourself a nice living area without sacrificing a bedroom or a bedroom taking up that space, because that would fold out once you reached your destination. So the next one from there would be just an all-out travel trailer. This would be a completely hard unit all the way around. There's no tent pop-outs or anything like that. It's solid sides. But these range from, again, that tiny teardrop I was saying, all the way up to very, very large units that you could tow. So within the travel trailer choice, there's choices from sizes all over the place, from the width of them, from the length of them, how heavy they are, what the amenities are. This is something you'll definitely have to do your research to see what kind of layout. If you decide that's what you want as a travel trailer, then you would have to find out what kind of layout you want. And I talk about layouts in a couple other videos as well. What these trailers are typically used for are just what their names are, travel trailers. They're not made or designed to go and set up somewhere long term, which you can do that, but they're designed to be as light as possible with giving maximum amenities, but be able to travel. You're traveling, you set up for a week here, a week there, you're taking off, you're going all over the place. That's what they're designed for. So that is a great option. That's where a lot of people land, especially families, because they're going for a week or two at a time. They want something they can easily tow to a campground, set it up, have a great time, pack it up and bring it home, but yet still have all the amenities that they need of home, really. So that's a great option. It's right kind of the middle of the road as far as size-wise as too. Now a spin-off of the travel trailer would be called a toy hauler. These are typically a travel trailer. They still run in the same range sizes of a travel trailer, from very small to very large, but then they would have a spot in the back that would be designed to haul dirt bikes, four-wheelers, snowmobiles, these type of things. The back would really drop down, give them a ramp, and then that area is where this equipment could be stored until you got to where you were going, and then roll those out. Now these have, again, a huge variation of styles and setups. I saw one which I thought was pretty cool, and maybe this is typical. I never really looked at them because it's not anything I was interested in. They were set up next to us one day. They rolled their quad four-wheelers out, and then they rolled this big screen down in front of that back opening where this big ramp. So the whole back of the unit was wide open. These rolled this big screen down, and then that set up as a bedroom in there. There's little bunks dropped down from the sides of the walls, and that ended up being the bedroom, and the living area and stuff was towards the front of the unit. So I didn't realize that those did that. I thought that was pretty cool. And if you're looking to haul toys and you have a group of people or something like that, this could be a good option for you. Okay, another option would be a fifth wheel. Now a fifth wheel is where typically it has this big overhang off the front of it, and then the hitch would be in the bed of your truck. Now of course, as we're going up, then the size of these go up, then your tow vehicle has to increase in size as well. But you have to do your research on that, make sure your vehicle is able or capable of towing the capacity that your unit would be if you chose a large unit. But a fifth wheel has a hitch mechanism in the bed of your truck or something along those lines. Some people have a flat bed, they don't have sides, but that's where that would hook up. These are much bigger than travel trailers typically, although they do make very small fifth wheels. These things can get very, very large. I mean, they can dwarf the size of the tow vehicle. I see them and I just wonder, my goodness, I don't know if I'd want to tow something that large. These units really give you some serious living space. Typically that raised up area that sits over the bed when you're driving is a bedroom, master bedroom, and then the lower area is like all living space, kitchen, and stuff like that. So they're fantastic space-wise, but again, the downfalls are they're much larger. You can't get them into all the same places that you can get these small units in. They cost more, of course, and they cost more to tow because of the fuel consumption. So those are things you need to keep in mind. But those also range in various sizes. But again, something like that, you got to have a much larger vehicle to tow, something that can handle a fifth wheel hitch in the bed of it or on a flatbed area or something like that. But these things range up to so large that they can be hauled with tractor trailers, tractors, and they hook them onto those. I mean, they really get big. From there we go into the drivers, and that would be Class A, Class B, Class C, and the difference between those, Class A is the front is usually flat. Typically they might even have the engine in the back of them. So you see these when the driver's up front there, and the whole front of the unit is flat with a big windshield. Those are Class A's, big units. They look like buses, I guess you could say. And some people take buses and convert them into campers. These are very large units. Typically, you set these things up in places and you're going to probably stay there for a long time, or you're on some sort of a tour across country and you really want maximum living space. These things cost a lot of money, they cost a lot to maintain, and they cost a lot to operate in fuel as well. But the benefits are you have a massive amount of space to live in. while you're out camping. And it's basically you have your home on wheels. And then in all of these units you have slide outs which can make them even larger. Class B would be, I think that's the van style. They're the much smaller campers. They're not really a Class A, they're not a Class C, which we'll talk about in a minute. They're kind of the van, they're in between the two. But those are typically conversion vans and things like that. Then you have Class B. Class B is kind of a van. They're like a conversion van. Some of them are quite a bit bigger than that. But that's typically, if someone says Class B, that's what they're talking about. They're in between the two, Class A and Class C, and we'll talk about Class C in a minute. But these are a driver. You drive them, your camping area is behind you, and you have all the amenities, but in a much more compact area. Have everything you need, small. The great thing about them, you can get into a lot more places. They can be very pricey. Some people convert cargo vehicles that are somewhat in the same shape, or they'll take these small commuter buses and they convert them. Those are kind of considered Class Bs as well. So this might be something you consider too. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. It's what's going to work for you. And then last but not least on those ones is the Class C, and this is the one that typically has like a truck front end that you get in. Typically, it looks like a regular pickup truck in the front with a big huge camper on the back and an overhang over the cab area. And that would be, typically there's a bedroom up there. So you can access the driving area from your regular two side doors of the vehicle. The chassis is a regular chassis with a camper on it. And you can also enter the driving area from the camper itself, which would have a side door. These are a nice middle of the road. These are the ones we've used a lot over the years, traveled in with kids, because you have the bed up top, plus you have typically, the couch or something will also turn into a bed. So these are great middle of the road. If you like to drive and have your camping facility right there, you can just step out of the driver's seat or the passenger seat and get what you need. These are a great option. So that kind of talks about all the different types. There's one other type I'm going to add here on the end, and that is a truck camper. Now a truck camper is nothing more than you already have your truck, your vehicle, and these slide in to the bed of the truck. And these range greatly as well in size and weight, and what you have to obviously make sure your vehicle can handle it. But these kind of look like a Class C when they're all done, but much smaller version, because you still see the whole truck and the truck bed, but it has the overhang over the cab, typically where the bedroom is. But these all have the amenities as well. They have a bathroom typically, kitchen area, bedroom, a dinette, and all those type of things. So it's going to have all the things you want, but in a much smaller version, and you can slide that into your truck. Now, the benefit of those is you can set that up, slide, get your truck out from under it and still go and do things, as well as have your camp still set up and not have to break that down every time. And you can also do that with all of the travel trailer types as well. Can't do that with the Class A, Class B, Class C. The only way to do that is to have a tow vehicle with you, so you can unhook and use that to go do errands. Because once you set those drivers up at your campground, you typically don't want to break it back down until you're ready to leave. Now, within all of those, I touched on this a second ago, a lot of those have, any of the bigger sizes have the option of slide outs. And these slide outs are going to offer all kinds of extra space and all kinds of different floor plans. And like I said, I've talked about floor plans in a couple of my other videos of what to look for and what I don't think works. But again, that's going to be different for everybody. So these are several choices and some information you can use when you head out to look to see what the right camper is for you. So you have a little bit of knowledge when you're at the dealership trying to make that choice. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Also, if you are looking to head out camping, you can download my free ebook and pre-trip checklist. The link is just below here, or you can type in your browser pretripchecklist.gr8.com, or again, just click the link below. It'll take you right over there, and you can get the free ebook as well as that checklist to make sure you and your RV are ready to hit the road. Thanks a lot, and have a great day, and happy camping!